You know what's bad? When Lane Johnson starts getting involved in Twitter wars. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus for Pro Fan Talk. And you already knew the minute Donovan McNabb launched his comments about what was going on with the amount of targets that A.J. Brown was getting and the lack of targets that Devontae Smith was getting, you knew it was going to be an issue. Somebody's going to get fired up. Every time Donovan McNabb says something or comes on, everybody thinks it's him being uber critical of the team and things of that nature, just because the city of Philly has a very sour taste when it comes to number 5. A lot of stuff that he says is on the mark. A lot of stuff he says, not so much. But that is no different than anybody else creating content on the air, especially this year. With some of these guys on the air and some of their uber harsh comments, you look at Shady McCoy,
Dog his ass,
Steve Smith, and there are many others out there that have been putting inflammatory comments on their analysis of players. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but the big scheme of things, that's the way things happen and that's the way things go. A lot of people don't like your opinion and you have the opportunity to ignore it. But in this case, everybody's going to think the situation with Donovan McNabb and T.O., because that's where he went with it. I know A.J. Brown had addressed the issue. Jalen Hurts had addressed the issue. And with them being best friends, was it about the targets? He said it wasn't. Whether you believe him or not, at this point, it's irrelevant. The point now is that Donovan brings it back up. And he actually made a good point about the amount of targets he got after that conversation, after it was seen by everybody on TV, the number of targets started to go up. However, you can't argue with the production of A.J. Brown. Did his targets go up, or is A.J. Brown getting open a lot? What's the difference? I looked at the stats right now. For the year, Devontae Smith has 45 targets with 334 yards. A.J. Brown has 60 targets with 672 yards. You're talking about 45 to 60. So you're talking about 15 more targets for A.J. Brown. And then you disperse Dallas Goedert in there somewhere. So is it out of the realm of possibility? No. Do I believe that's what the case is? I do not. I just think it's a situation where right now, A.J. Brown is that dude right now. And he is, when he gets the ball in his hands, he is making things happen. For the same reason I would say as to why the Eagles don't run enough. If DeAndre Swift has got the hot hand, you keep feeding him. If you run it 30 times a game, you run it 30 times a game if they can't stop it. But you know what? They can't stop A.J. Brown right now. They just can't do it. So you keep feeding the hot hand. I don't have a problem with that. The only time and the only reason they're bringing it up is because the way the game went down against the Jets and we lost. They had the same number. Matter of fact, I think Devontae Smith had more targets than A.J. Brown did. But you saw the big drop by Devontae. I believe he dropped 2 balls. You saw the drop by Kenny Gainwell. And these were balls that were dropped in crucial situations. Could have kept the chains moving and may have had a different impact on the game had things played out a little bit different. I understand where Donovan is coming from, and I even understand that perspective because he's going to obviously look at what happened between him and T.O. There's no way that you want to compare those two situations. You got 2 guys that played with each other that really didn't respect each other at the end of the day, and then you got 2 guys that play together, are friends, are like brothers. The relationship is there. The relationship was not there between T.O. and McNabb. So in my opinion, that's the difference. So I understand what he was doing, and I even understand why. But just like A.J. Brown said, you know what's going to happen when you bring stuff like that up to the media. They're going to take it and run with it, especially when it comes from Donovan McNabb. Whether you like Donovan McNabb or not, everything he says on the air, people are coming for, whether it's right or wrong. They're coming, especially people in Philadelphia. Now, everybody outside of Philadelphia, they want to take him for his word, and they talk to him like he's in the know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in Philadelphia, with the outlook or with the way Philadelphia feels about Donovan McNabb, it is very odd. It was very odd. I was there at the Alumni Day and at the game where they honored Donovan McNabb. I was there at the 5 Will Always Love You speech. And I was with the fellas. When he said that, we all kind of looked at each other like, huh? Because it just sounded weird. He's entitled to his opinion. His opinion is no different than anyone else's. If you don't like it, you ain't got to listen to it. And a lot of people, and Philadelphia is known for this, if you don't like somebody, you tend to dismiss everything they say. And you can't do that because a lot of stuff he says is on the money. He's not stupid. He knows what he's talking about. He knows the game. He knows the position. So if it was anybody else, other than Donovan McNabb, would you believe him? If Michael Vick had said that, would you have believed him? Or would the criticism have been as intense as it is because it was coming from number 5? I would think not. So a lot of this is coming from just Philadelphia's disdain of Donovan McNabb. However, what Lane Johnson said, he meant that. He definitely meant that. When you couple that and then you couple AJ Brown's comments, I agree. Why are you stirring up trouble? You stirring up trouble because somebody asked you the question. And I guarantee you, when whoever he was talking to on the radio or WIP or whoever it was, they knew that was coming. So this kind of falls in line with everything I've been saying. I don't think this was purposefully inflammatory at all. I think he believes what he said. I just don't agree with it. But I'm not going to cut him down and rip him a new one. I just don't agree with it. But when you see Lane Johnson's comments, that looks like it's kind of personal. It is what it is. AJ Brown is going to keep balling. Jalen Hurts is going to keep balling. And we're going to keep this thing moving. If you like the content, please hit subscribe. Click on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you guys in the next play. Peace.